So live, one half of the NeuroNerds, this dude right here is interviewing 1/3 of the Stromies.
That's a lot of fractions.
That's math. Tamsin Butler.
Boom.
Oh, she took my boom. Yeah, no, I'm good with that.
Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are
The
NeuroNerds.
Yes, that was on time.
I feel pretty good about that.
NeuroNerds.
Welcome to the NeuroNerds. We have a very special episode today. I say very special. I say that all the time because I think all of our episodes are really special, but even more so today because I have 1/3 of the Stromies here. Miss Tamsin Butler.
Hey.
Hello.
That didn't sound monotone at all.
I'm working on it.
And on top of that, I also have a very special guest. I have Tamsin's daughter, Monet.
Hi.
Oh, why is this special? Because number one, I have Tamsin here, which is super dope. I'm very excited. Also, Monet is going to give her perspective on how she dealt with, like, you telling the story of your mother's stroke, because you were a big part of that.
Yeah.
You were a horrible kid. You didn't listen to your mother.
Absolutely.
But we'll get into that. So Tamsin is from Nebraska, not from Nebraska.
I live in Nebraska.
She lives in Nebraska. And apparently when you get there, they give you corn and a tractor,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
and a lot
I-
of positivity.
I always assumed it was that. Now I know for sure
Confirmed.
that's what it is. Yeah, and I heard that tractors out. No, I'm not gonna get into a whole tractor thing. So Tamsin, you had your stroke in 2015, correct?
Yep, in July 2015.
July. That's my birthday month. Oh, so you're coming up on your stroke anniversary.
I am coming up on my 4-year stroke anniversary.
Oh wow. Is that a big deal? Do you celebrate your stroke anniversary?
We do celebrate it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
celebrate it as though it's my birthday.
That's
So
all.
it's a lot
It
of fun.
kind of is. It's your rebirth,
Exactly.
right?
Mhm.
So tell the people. It always sounds so weird because nobody here. But like,
Oh, yes. All the people that are definitely here.
yes, the people in the room. But there's several. This is actually a lot more people than are normally here. It's just me and my co-host and like Felice yelling at us to stay on track. But what type of stroke did you have? Tell us how the chain of events that led to your stroke.
I had an ischemic stroke, blood clot up to the brain. Didn't realize that I had a hole in my heart. Actually, couple holes in my heart.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
Scott's telling me I had 3 holes in my heart.
Scott is Tamsin's
Scott is
very
my
attractive husband.
Yes, he's very
Yes,
attractive.
Dad.
I'm looking at him right now and I'm enamored. Thank you. I love you.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I was too, and I got lost in his eyes.
So massive ischemic stroke, holes in the heart, and we're still trying to figure out. They say I have some sort of genetic predisposition toward blood clotting, but now they're looking and they can't find any sort of tangible evidence of that. I know.
Yay.
It's fun. It's so much fun.
Oh, that's not awkward. That doesn't make me
No.
feel uncomfortable at all.
No.
Wait, so you had, because I hear this frequently with the hole in the heart, right?
Yeah.
Do you close that?
Yeah. Well, they went in because I had the stroke in September. No, in July. And by September, they had gone in and fixed the hole.
So you had heart surgery.
Yeah, but it was really easy. They didn't do the open heart, open chest. What is that called? Somebody
Open
help
heart
me.
surgery.
Open heart surgery.
Yeah,
Thank you.
They went up through your thigh.
Yeah, they went up
that's-
through my
that's
femoral
so
artery.
strange that they work their way
Uh-huh.
up.
It's
Yeah.
odd.
And I woke up before it was done.
Did you really?
Yeah, they were tugging on the thing to bring it out. And I woke up and I look up and there's my cardiologist pulling on this thing and looking up at me like, hey, how you doing? And I was like
oh,
somebody,
no.
I'm supposed to be asleep right now.
Did you feel it?
No, I mean, I felt the tugging, but no pain.
That's
It was
so
very
weird.
strange.
uncomfortable. Oh my God. Like I
Yeah.
would have nightmares. Do you have nightmares?
No.
Really?
It wasn't that bad. It was just
Oh
kind
yeah,
of like,
it was only heart surgery. It was
Well,
only heart surgery.
They only just put a tube up through my thigh to my heart. It's not that big of a deal. It's fine.
Exactly.
but it was all positive because, they said, do this and you won't have another stroke. And I said, okay.
That's absolutely positive. Hey,
Yeah.
is your favorite extreme song "Hole in My Heart"?
It should be.
That's so crazy. So even after they sealed the hole in your heart, you still have a tendency to produce blood clots?
Well, that's debatable because that's what my neurologist, who we couldn't understand, told us that I had. What does she call it? A genetic mutation.
Yeah.
She said I had a genetic
Oh my God,
mutation.
you're an X-Man.
Well, that's what Scott says too, all the time. I am pretty amazing. But no, she kept saying genetic mutation, genetic mutation. So that's what we pulled from what we could understand. She had a very thick Romanian accent.
It was really weird because she was Chinese. That's what was so bizarre. I'm sorry. Continue.
So from her Chinese Romanian training, she kept saying genetic mutation. So we took that as to mean I had a genetic mutation that made my blood clot. But then,
Wait,
There's
there's
more.
more.
Yeah. cut to this year when my neurologist says, now that things have calmed down, I think you need to see a hematologist just so we can get you tested and figure out what everything's
Right.
going on.
Blood doctor.
Yeah. So I went there and he tested me all sorts of ways. And he says, you don't have any of the reasons why you should have clotting blood.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they know there was a blood clot. They don't know why there was a blood clot.
That's so great.
Isn't it fantastic?
So are
Not
you one of
worrisome
those
at all.
people that needs to know?
It would be helpful to me to know. I don't like the whole mystery part of it.
Right. Because like what okay, so what's stopping it from happening again? Because they
I-
don't know, right?
I think the fact that they healed up my heart
Right.
stops it from happening again. But I mean, I could get a clot in theory, I guess.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
if you just magically produce your X-Men superpowers like to
Yeah.
create blood clots out of
It's
nowhere.
like the worst superpower.
It really is.
Hang
isn't
on,
it?
I'm gonna clot. Oh, look at that.
Blood clot woman.
Yeah, blood clot woman.
I gotta tell you, that sounds horrible. I would not want to be that for Halloween. That makes me very uncomfortable because if I think long enough, like I've said this before, I kind of need to know things, and
Yeah.
if I don't, it drives me a little bit crazy. So
Yeah.
like I know somebody knows if aliens are real. I know somebody knows, and if I think about it long enough, it will really bother me.
Yeah.
It might take over my life, So I try not to like think about that. Thank goodness I know exactly why I had my stroke. I was an idiot, unchecked high blood pressure, living terribly, not processing stuff, but like at least I know.
Yeah.
Have you done anything different since your stroke?
I mean, not really, because I was living very healthily before my stroke. I mean, I was, a fitness instructor and ate really well and, plant-based diet mostly.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
so-
that's the food my food eats.
Yes. At any rate, yeah.
We
So
don't eat beef or pork anymore.
yeah, we don't eat beef or pork anymore. And that was my neurologist said
Yeah.
that, to do that. But before that, we'd already stopped eating it because Monet told me it's bad for the environment.
Yeah.
So
I watched a documentary and I was like, we are never, ever going to eat beef again. And then as soon as her neurologist said it, I was like, see, now we have.
yeah, I was like, it's medically advised.
And that's a neurologist.
Yeah.
Right? So wait, which documentary did you watch? Was it
Cowspiracy?
oh no, you should watch Food Inc.
Okay, I
Food,
will.
Food Inc. Super dope. We should never eat anything.
Yeah,
know.
I know. It's scary.
I'm just saying, even vegetables, even veggies.
There was, oh my gosh, there's a study that some plants can feel fear. And now I feel really bad. Like, they're like, oh, what is, oh, like the rate that they produce certain hormones will like increase when you're like cutting them. And you're,
you know what I want to do? I just
Today on
want to.
Food Talk.
I want to walk past like I don't know, like an apple tree and scream at it. I just want to see. Did I just scare those apples? Are you a stroke or brain injury survivor looking for community and support? Well, the NeuroNerds are here to help. Join our hashtag USORock Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/USORock to connect with other survivors like you.
Plus, read other inspirational brain injury survivor stories on Joe's blog at josorocks.com/USORock. And submit your stories there as well. We want to hear them.
And remember,
You so rock.
Stop laughing at it. Okay, so you had your stroke.
Yes.
It's so weird to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because
saying it so casually.
right. Oh
No,
yeah.
a
So
stroke.
hey, you remember that time I almost died? Well, it's just weird because we're moderately young, at least
Yeah.
for a stroke.
Absolutely.
It's really bizarre. I was 39 when I had my stroke. I know you're looking at me. You're like, this 18-year-old? Yes, I know. It was.
How did he read my mind just there?
I'm doing the Benjamin Button thing. I'm getting younger. Did you know anything about strokes before you had one?
Well, my grandfather died of a stroke.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So I knew that it could be fatal. That's
Right.
what I knew about it. And I knew that Scott's grandfather had died of a stroke.
Oh my gosh.
So that was what I was thinking when I was having the stroke. I was like, people die from this. Am I dying right now?
Right.
Were
you coherent?
Fairly.
Okay.
I
the
mean,
most part.
my thoughts were still going pretty well
Yeah.
for the most
they
part. I
just weren't
couldn't convey
convey.
anything.
It was hard.
Yeah.
You weren't able to speak. You could think it, but you couldn't audibly say
It
anything.
was pretty
Well, I could,
jumbled.
it was like in my mind, I was speaking normally, but then I could hear myself and I was like, who is that? Because it was very
Yeah.
slowed down and
It was like as if Google Translator just like couldn't figure it out what you were trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, your brain was like trying to say it, and then like your mouth was like, "No, we're not gonna do that."
yeah. But I knew I was having a stroke. Just
And
from
you
the
knew it was a
symptoms.
stroke.
I did.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I've said it a million times. I didn't really know what a stroke was until I had mine. So I would think stroke. Oh yeah, it's a heart attack. Old people get that.
That's how I was before my
Yeah.
mom had it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a stroke, like not knowing what it even was.
You're right. Yeah, now don't you feel bad? Yeah,
Yeah.
making fun of your mom. So it's kind of a heart attack, but like for your brain. It's a
Yeah.
brain attack,
It's a brain
it's a
attack.
heart attack for your brain.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna transition over to Monet, and Monet is gonna tell your version of your
Yes.
mom having the stroke. Like,
Yes.
tell us in your words exactly what happened.
Okay, so we had just gotten home from the grocery store, and my mom was leaning down under the sink counter. That's where we put our dog biscuits. And so and then she just like laid down, and she was like, "Can you get me a pillow?" And I was like, "What?"
In the kitchen?
In the kitchen, she just like laid down, and I was like, so, and then everything just started to go wrong. Like you couldn't really like speak. It was just like, and so I was like, "I'm calling dad," and you were like, "No, don't call dad." And I was like, "No, I'm calling dad." So I called him, and I told him what was going on, and then my dad called 911, and then the ambulance got there. And yeah, they took you away to the hospital.
I am so glad you don't listen to your mother.
Me
No, I'm just kidding.
Me too.
Do you remember like coinciding with what her version of the story? Do you remember like the chain of events?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
I like stood over her.
in the way that I tell you that I was
You're like,
still
"Yeah,
No.
you're not so tough now, are you, mom?"
yeah. Start kicking me.
Yeah.
What a turn of
Yeah,
events.
be home by what time?
Yeah. No, I mean, when I say that my thoughts were coherent, it's like I had coherent thoughts, but they weren't correct. I don't know if that makes sense because
Absolutely.
my thought was, don't call dad. I don't want him to see me having a stroke. It wasn't,
Yeah.
don't call dad. I don't want
I'm
him to see-"
fine.
It was very strange. It's like it didn't make any sense. Now I
Yeah.
look back and I'm like, that was really stupid to say, don't call dad.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad she didn't listen to me. But yeah.
Me too.
So I'm lying on the ground and I'm thinking, am I dying right now? And she's standing over me and she's got her hands on her hips. And she goes, "You're not all right. You're not okay. I'm calling dad." And I was just kind of like, okay.
You're like, "Yep, I raised a sassy daughter."
Yeah. And I was like, thank God she's so defiant because I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have made it had she not called dad.
Yeah, I was like, no. Listen to me.
Yeah.
We're calling dad.
That's amazing. That really, you saved your mother's life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's
Yeah.
You're a superhero. You need a cape.
I mean,
She does have an
you can't
X-Men
that.
mother.
And you guys didn't see it. It was the most magnificent hair flip ever. That's incredible. How long did it take for everything to happen, for the ambulance to get there, for like that process to
It
lay out?
seemed really slow and really fast at the same time.
By the
That
time
doesn't
I
make
got
sense,
to
but, like-
the ER, which is maybe 5 minutes from our house,
Mhm.
it was
Amazing.
only about 20 minutes from the onset of
Yeah.
the stroke
That's
because they
thankfully
asked us what
great
time did
timing.
it start
Right.
because they wanted to do TPA, but they had to make
Right.
sure it was within that time frame.
Yeah.
Were they able to?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, hey.
Yeah,
That
and
was
TPA
scary.
was fantastic because when I
Uh-huh.
got to the hospital for a while, I was mute. I couldn't speak at all.
Mhm.
But then once the TPA started working, my words started coming back.
Yeah. I remember I
Wow.
came in there with a clipboard and a pencil, and I was like, okay, what do I need to do? And you were like, make spaghetti. So I was like, make spaghetti. Like I wrote down everything that needed to happen. I was like, I'm taking control. We're doing this. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my God. How proud are you of this little chick over here?
I mean, amazingly proud. I think she has a tendency to take the world up on her shoulders, though. So sometimes I'm like, you got to calm down.
I'm like, no,
you
no, no.
don't have to do everything. But
You don't listen to mom.
yeah, she's
Yes,
very much.
I like you though.
She's very much take control, and she's
Yeah.
gonna take care of it.
I don't even let you fill up my water bottles.
No, she won't let me fill.
I'll
up
be
her
getting
water
ready
bottles or
for
anything.
dance. She's like, "Do you need help?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine." And I won't let her fill up my water bottle because I need to know that I filled up my water bottle.
The real reason you're like, I don't want mom to poison me.
That's what you get for kicking me when I was having that stroke.
yeah. Do you remember not listening to me?
So
Oh,
maybe
see
Joe
what
can tell you a little story about why you shouldn't allow yourself to get so stressed out.
So
Oh no.
the reason I was gonna say the reason I'm bald. No, genetics. So this little scar that I have here,
Uh-huh.
my little Harry Potter scar, that came because of stress. My stroke was due to unchecked high blood pressure. So I went my entire adult life, my entire life basically. I didn't really go to doctors. I grew up super
Oh, okay.
poor,
Mhm.
and I never really processed anything. I took way too much on. I never kind of let things go. So that built up and built up and built up until a vein in my brain exploded.
Oh, okay.
So not very good to start out this young and be that stressed, to take that
Yeah.
much on. So
Mhm.
it's a balance. It's the yin and yang of life. It's Joe's new thing. It's the yin and yang of life. It really
Yeah.
is. There's the good and the bad, right? So for every amazing thing, there's a terrible thing. For every terrible thing, there's an amazing thing. So
Yeah.
if you don't have to take on a little bit extra stuff,
Don't.
and worry about here's my favorite thing: circle of control. Everything inside of the circle is what you can control. Only you.
Yeah.
The way you react, the way you function, what you say, what you do. Everything outside of that, you have no control over. So why are you stressing yourself out with it?
Dang.
All you can do is control how, like, if mom's like, I don't know why you're doing this.
Because this is how I parent, like
She's like,
that.
Finger in the air.
Get off my lawn. So if your mom is saying something that you don't like, you can't
Yeah.
control your mom from saying that. What you can do is
Not
control how
yet.
you react.
I'm really
Just
frightened
wait,
right
Mom.
now. Send help.
All you can do is control how you react to what she's saying. That's
Gotcha.
it. That's all you can do. Or you can try to make her feel bad and be like, "Oh, really, Mom? Do you remember when I saved your life?"
Oh, remember that little thing that happened
Yeah.
a while ago?
Yeah.
Where
Oh, you
you're
remember this
alive?
conversation you're having only because I saved your life.
Remember why you're here.
she could kind of say the same thing,
That's true.
So you guys are even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say we're pretty even. Yeah.
That was very threatening. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
She's like, "It's okay. I'm gonna smother you in your sleep."
With hugs.
Yes, hugs, alleged hugs.
If a pillow is a hug, yes.
Yeah, right? Yeah, enjoy it. Hey, just kiss the
Okay, can
pillow.
we just be clear? I am not going to murder my daughter.
This is a PSA.
I love her very much.
Yes, we don't condone that. I do. We don't.
Oh, for
Just
goodness
kidding.
sake.
Joking.
Yeah.
We're devolving as we do every episode.
If you enjoy listening to this podcast, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on the Apple Podcast app. Your reviews help us grow and reach more listeners like you.
Find us by searching for the NeuroNerds on the Apple Podcast app today.
So, post-stroke
Yes.
deficits. What are you dealing with?
Mostly cognitive deficits. I do have weakness on my left side. And mostly it's like my coordination isn't very good on my left side. But I can hide that for the most part,
Yes,
just
yeah.
like I can hide my cognitive deficits. But I get confused really easily. I have impulse control issues. So like I'll say things before I filter them, it just comes out.
The
And everybody
giraffe
looks
at
at
the
me
zoo.
like that was totally inappropriate. And I'm like, what? Why?
We went to the zoo and
Oh,
we she hates the
Love
story, but I'm gonna tell it anyways. And we went to this new exhibit where you could supposedly feed giraffes, and my mom was so excited. to
Feeding
feed them.
giraffes. Hello.
Yes.
Right. I'm excited.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited too. And so we went up to like a little station to go get the food. And you want to say what you thought you said when they said
I
that?
thought because I said, can I buy some of the leaves to feed the giraffes? And they said, what was it that they were out
They were
of
like,
leaves?
they were like, oh, sorry, it's
Sorry,
not
we're
their
out of
feeding
leaves.
time
And I
anymore.
thought I said, oh, okay. But
She
Monet
went,
has a totally different
what?
story.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like just so loud.
I think she's embellishing.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
gonna
no,
put
no,
that
no,
out
no,
there.
no.
If anything, she might be underplaying.
Yeah, I don't want to explode the mic. And I was just standing behind her, just like, oh no. Like, kind of just steered her away. Like, come on, Mom.
Well, I was very disappointed because
Yeah.
I envisioned myself feeding these giraffes, and I was super
And we've been
jazzed
talking about it for a couple days.
Yeah,
too.
and so when it didn't happen, I was kind of crestfallen. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little. Like
Oh yeah.
my emotions, there's no dulling my emotions now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There's no filter.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like emotional regulation for me is the worst. Like
Yeah.
I don't have much control over it. And like afterwards, I'm like, what is wrong with me? And then I have to take a step back and be like, oh yeah, I had a brain injury.
Yeah.
There is something wrong with me. But I know what it is.
There
It's
is.
okay.
And you said something that speaks to me. Like, oh, I can hide the
Yeah.
deficits. Why
Yeah.
do we do that? Why do we have to do why do we feel the need to hide what's wrong with us?
Because we're neurodiverse people living in a neurotypical world.
That was
Go
that
on.
was an
Okay.
excellent answer. I was gonna say
Wow.
you and I, we're vain.
Oh, okay, yeah, there's that too.
We probably think this song is about us.
No, I don't
so-
like people thinking that I'm less than.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. So that I didn't say or admit that I had a stroke. Like I wouldn't talk about it regularly. The first year out of the hospital,
Mhm.
I wouldn't really talk about. I wouldn't talk. It took me almost a full year to actually say, even to myself, I had a brain injury.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
strange. It's strange because it's so weak. It's so you feel so vulnerable that
Mhm.
like there's something wrong. Like you don't have any control. So you had no control over it. Mine, I was 100% control over my stroke. It was 100% my fault.
Yeah.
So and it's just this whole weird crazy thing. It drives you crazy. It's like, oh wow, my brain tried to kill me.
Yeah.
And your body tried to kill you. You don't even know why.
Well, at least you can pinpoint your reason.
I
For
can.
me, it's like, well, I know I had these holes in my heart, but what was with the blood clot,
Yeah.
So
So-
weird.
Where did it come from? What was
Who
in
knows?
there?
Yeah.
Who
Little
knows?
little did you know, Monet injected it into your body.
Oh, yeah.
You're in some very
I
dark
want-
places, Joe. I don't know
guess
if I'm
what,
comfortable
Mom?
here
Hey,
anymore.
hey, when you guys came in here, the first thing you said is, "Hey, this place would be amazing for a cult."
Well, you
It
pull up to Joe's house, and it's like this really narrow driveway, and there's these houses all there, and I was thinking, what a great compound this would be for like-minded people.
I'm recruiting.
Yeah.
I'm recruiting brain injured people.
Follow my Instagram.
That would be the most confused community ever.
Oh my gosh,
Like-
right?
The most confused cult. They're like, wait, so why are we here again?
Yeah. And that's somebody's, I'm
That's
crying
brilliant.
in the corner and yeah.
That's
You're
brilliant.
in robes and you're like, wait.
There'd be a lot like our saying would be, wait, what?
You guys all trying to remember your like chants.
Yeah, let's say the chance.
Pull up
Wait,
your
what are
robe.
they? Hang on.
It's like
what is
written
it?
on your arm. You're like,
Well, yeah, like I really feel like I have to be my mentor. I have to tattoo things on my body to remember, but then I forget that I'd have them on my body. So you're a fitness instructor.
Yes.
How difficult was it to get back in the groove?
It was super difficult, but I attribute that to a lot of my, recovery physically because I forced myself to go back.
oh,
I teach
yeah.
a lot of strength-based classes. I don't teach like dancey dance classes because I have no rhythm since the stroke.
Oh,
But because
so,
I used
wait,
to
so what
teach-
you're saying is Monet's rhythm came from daddy.
Well, I used to have rhythm,
Yeah.
but then after the stroke, I kind of lost it. It's very strange. I think it
Yeah.
has to do with the coordination on my left side.
Really?
Yeah. But so the fact that I had the left side weakness, I'm teaching strength classes. So I'm demonstrating everything. And once I felt like my left side was going to be done, I would put the weights down and then walk around the room like this.
All right, let me
I'm
see. Let me
posturing.
see
I
it
know you guys can't
demonstrating.
see me, but I'm posturing as though I'm very flexed and I'd be like, good work. Good job. But on the inside, I'm like, my left side doesn't work.
How is it today? Like not just today, but like how is it like today since the recovery? Is it
You know, it's-
progressively gotten better? Is
I've
it, like,
noticed in the last year, things are getting markedly better, which
Yeah,
is
they are.
important because a lot of doctors will tell you after year 1 or 2, you're done.
You know what?
But in my last year, I've definitely noticed a lot of improvements.
You can peel a potato now.
I can peel a potato.
I don't want to hear that. Like I thought because I have my niece here, I got my nephew in the other room. I was gonna curse. I think that's bullshit. I think doctors putting limitations on how long your recovery is debilitating to a lot of stroke survivors.
It is.
I met somebody online because that's how I meet everybody. It's dating for brain injury people. It's like becoming friends with, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's like a friendship app.
Like a
And
Tinder.
it's like Tinder for like brain injury people. So she was like, yeah, I'm going on 4 years and that's it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, we know you can still recover. And she's like, no, the doctor said after the full first year is where you recover the most, and anything after
Yeah.
that, it'll be minimal at best. I'm like, no, I've seen miracles happen with people several years afterwards, mostly in other countries where they just keep on going. And it's like, oh, wow,
Absolutely.
I can play piano now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just think it sucks that doctors are just putting these limitations, these time limits on people. We can do amazing things with our minds, even though our minds try to kill us.
Yeah. I mean, our minds are such weird things, and I don't think they're fully understood by anybody, let alone like a physician.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for physicians because, like, when we went in, the very first thing I said was, how much longer till I'm okay? When am I going to be myself again? And they can't answer that.
No.
But I'm like begging for this tangible timeline. So I can't blame them for saying, oh, a year or 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm like insisting, tell me when I'm going to be
I can
myself
blame
again.
them for that. Do your job. Be
Yeah.
better.
Okay, I don't
better.
have the story
You
you
got
have,
it.
Joe. You can be as mad as you
Oh
want
yeah,
in the
that's
medical
true.
community.
That's true. I'm just like angry. Get off my lawn, doctors.
Picturing all these doctors on your
Doctors
lawn.
in the cult.
No doctors in the cults. None.
If you're a doctor, you're not allowed.
Thank you to our amazing community on Patreon for supporting this podcast.
You can support us too and get different perks and gifts depending on which Neuro Jedi tier you sign up for. For example, if you're on our Neuro Padawan $5 tier, then you're probably listening to this episode a day early before its public release.
Your support helps us grow and continue to create this podcast. Plus, a portion of the proceeds go to a different cause or individual in the brain injury survivor community each month. Sign up at patreon.com/theneuronerds.
All right, so Monet, after your mom got home from the hospital, did you
Yeah.
notice a difference in her personality?
Yeah. But I mean, like, obviously it's not bad. Like, you're still amazing, obviously.
Obviously.
But there were some differences. A lot of it, especially when like she first got back, she would just like lay on the couch. And obviously you're not lazy. Like, it's not like you were like, I'm gonna lay on the couch because I can. Like, you had to lay on the couch. But like before the stroke, she was like never sit still. Ever. And so to like see her just like sitting on the couch watching TV was so different. Because it was like, who is this? Like, it was like a completely different person had come home from the hospital. And obviously you're like so busy now, so like you've definitely gotten back to that.
Yeah.
But for like the first like couple months, it was just like weird. It was like having a stranger in the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
Oh yeah, it was very strange, and I felt so bad for the kids because they were at such a tender age for this to happen to their mom. I mean, it was trauma for them.
Right.
They were there, they witnessed it when
Yeah.
it happened, and they felt that desperation of what do I do? I'm a child, and my mom is dying right in front of me.
Right. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So it's like I felt very guilty for that, even though the stroke wasn't necessarily my
Yeah,
fault or
It wasn't your
whatever.
fault at all.
And when she said just now that it was like having a stranger in the house,
Oh, wow.
I would say it was like being a stranger in my own body.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was very strange. And Monet helped me more than she realizes because, well, I mean, you helped me a ton.
she's like, yes, mother, I saved your life.
Yes,
And
well,
let's
okay.
go back to me making sure you were okay.
Okay, there's that. But no, one of my favorite memories from recovery is that I was walking with a walker because my left side wasn't working. And it was taking me a long time to get back to walking
Yeah.
for real. And she had a safe night coming up at school, which is the night before school starts, where all the parents converge upon the school and see the classrooms and everything.
Mhm.
And so I asked her, Monet, if I go there in my walker, is that going to embarrass you?
Oh.
And she looked at me and she said, yes, it would. And so from that moment on, I was on safe night. I'm going to walk in there without a
Yes.
walker. And it's like, I just needed that fire. I needed her to push
Yeah.
me like that. And so her being honest about it, some people might be like, that was harsh, but she was
Yeah, what
honest.
a jerk, Monet.
No, it was,
No, but that's
saved your
honest.
life.
She
That's
was-
absolutely
yeah,
honest. Because
she
for
was
a kid,
the reason I could start walking again.
for a
Yeah.
kid, so yeah, speaking of vain, there's nobody more vain than children. So I mean, do you
True.
want to see your parent coming over? I was like, how? Because kids are dicks. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, for real.
Sorry,
true.
how old is your mom?
Yeah.
What happened? What's wrong with her? All of these things would happen. Now for adults say and think these things,
Yeah.
Now imagine
Yeah.
kids every single day.
Oh, yeah.
It would be a problem,
Mhm.
Also, I think it's amazing parenting that you were like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to beat this. Not just for me.
Yeah.
It's bigger than me. I'm going to do this for my kids.
Yeah, at that point, it wasn't for me, it was for her. And I mean, I
Yeah.
could do anything for my kids.
And you walked to that damn safe night?
I did. I walked
Yes,
all
you
the way
did.
to the safe night, walked through the safe night,
Walked.
had heart monitors strapped to me, but still
Yes,
made it
but
through.
you did
Yeah.
it. And that's all that matters.
I don't know why in my head I was like, how great would it be if you just fell?
You're like, oh, hello.
I'm like, I made it. Oh,
Hey, remember that time I fell down a flight of steps because
Yeah.
you were vain?
I also decorated your walker. Let it be known.
yes. Her and her friends attacked my walker with decorative duct tape
and ribbons and
No,
seashells.
no bedazzling?
No.
No?
Lots of sparkles though. There were
Okay, that's
sparkles,
good.
just not like actual.
Okay, my favorite part about that though is that they made this envelope that they
Mhm.
put on there, and it was my mail. They said so.
Yeah.
Every time I started to feel down, I reached in there, and there'd be another note from one of them that said
Being like,
something
"You
like,
got
"You're doing
this,
great.
love
You got
you."
this." I pulled into that so many times.
I know, right? How awesome
That's incredible. You know what I would have done? I would have put one in there that says, you're never going to make it. Yin and yang of life.
Join the cult.
That's incredible. That's incredible. That's like the sweetest thing in the world.
I mean, I know.
Tam, you've done a pretty good job with this one over here.
I
Hey.
know. Well, wait till you see Abram. They're both fantastic.
They
Yes, they
are.
Thanks to our sponsor, Avid Technology, for providing us with the tools, or should I say, pro tools, to record, edit, and mix our podcast and get our message out clearly to the world.
Try Avid first to start recording today for free at avid.com/pro-tools.
Yay.
Yay!
Nice transition, producer / editor / girlfriend / caregiver / awesome person in the background. The people need to hear this, right? All right, so we're going to transition into bringing Abram in here. And Abram is Tam's other kid, and he is a year younger?
18 months.
18 months younger than Monet, yet an inch taller than her. I just want to lay that out. Just want to let everybody know
Can you cut that out?
that he that he definitely has a height advantage over here. So we're going to bring Abram in momentarily. All right, so we kicked Tamsin out of here because who needs to talk to the brain injured?
Wow.
That's a segment to enter in.
So we have Abram here along with Monet. So we have the little childrens. We have
Yes.
Tamsin's amazing children, and it's already been established. Abram is an inch taller than Monet, even though
Please
he's
cut
a
this.
year and
Eat
change
it.
younger. You know,
Yes.
own that inch.
Yes.
Say what's up, Abram.
This is awesome. This place is really cool.
Yes.
Well, I think
it is.
it's mostly me, right? Just say I'm really cool,
Yeah.
and it makes the place more awesome.
Your
Right?
ear piercings are awesome.
I gotta
And
tell
your
you,
dog.
kind of killing it. my dog, who's lying on her back with her crotch out to the
She's
world.
gorgeous.
She's such a lady. So, Abram, what do you remember about the night? Was it nighttime or was it daytime?
No, it was daytime.
Middle of the
the-
day.
the
It was
Smack
like
in the middle.
11 a.m.
Oh my God. So, you know what? That's a good thing though. You know what I mean?
it is.
Because
Is it
instead of
You
night?
being
have
like,
to
Yeah.
like wait at the hospital all night.
aside of that, she could have literally just, well, I'm just going to go lay down, you know?
Yeah.
Just gone through the
Exactly.
entire
I'm
night.
just tired.
What do you remember about that night or that afternoon?
My mom was acting really crabby while we were at the commissary, and but it was weird because we weren't doing anything. Normally, when my mom's crabby, it's because me and my sister were acting like
Awful.
crazy, off the chart,
Children acting like children.
off the chart nuts.
Yeah, just off our
But it was
rocker.
just a little weird, and then she kept complaining about her eye.
Yeah.
And then, I went into the other room to play on my 3DS Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was awesome. And I remember I heard like a thump, and then Monet was just in the room.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I thought like I was 9 or 10 at this point. So
Mhm.
I was crazy. And so I didn't know what was happening. And at first I thought my mom was like pretending to be hurt or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, haha, funny joke. And then she looked up at me and she had this look in her eye. And I was like,
Yeah.
Oh.
You could tell she wasn't joking.
that's not a joke.
Wow.
So
Mhm.
of course I started panicking. I was 9 or 10 and my mental
Yeah.
state was
Yeah,
fragile.
you were just like sobbing.
I was just losing it. Monet took control of the situation. I
Yes,
was
I
like,
did. Hey.
kind of. But then I remember I just kind of lost it after that point. I just was separated from pretty much everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
It seems like a dream.
that's intense. Let me ask you a question, Monet. Did you after you kind of process, wow, this is happening after the fact, did you give yourself time to mourn? Like, did you just break down at some point? Because in that moment you were strong.
No, it wasn't until like 2-ish years that I like finally like was like, oh my gosh, and like broke down. Because before then, my mom was still in like the recovering state, and like now she's pretty much back to normal. Like obviously it's like a new normal, but like
Right.
it's still normal. And before then, it was like I had to like do a lot of things around the house that I wasn't normally doing. Like it was basically just like throwing me in the deep end.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I can't do it right now. I don't have time. Like I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Also,
Mhm.
you need to process this stuff out.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be like Uncle Joe. You, you gotta let this stuff go
Yes.
now because you're young enough, and
Mhm.
none of this was told to me. You got to process this stuff out, or else it just festers inside and manifests into like horrific things. You
Yeah.
know? Abram, good job on crying, buddy. No, seriously, like that's
Yeah.
you're in touch with your emotions. You didn't have to pretend like everything was fine. That's great. I asked Monet the same question. I asked you, did you notice a difference in your mom's personality when she came home from the hospital?
100%. When she actually got back from the hospital, it was like she was someone I didn't even know. She asked me to give her a hug when she was laying on the couch, and I almost didn't want to because I didn't even
Oh.
know who she was, and I did. And when I hugged her, she smelled like hospital.
Yeah.
And it was just so confusing for me because after that point, I had just separated myself so far from everyone else that just having that little punch to the nuts really didn't help out that much.
Yeah. Figuratively. Unless
Figuratively.
Tamsin actually punched him in the nuts. I don't know.
Her left side was like, whoa.
Yeah, oops. No control.
Yeah.
Sorry
Allegedly.
about that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How long do you think it took until you were looking at your mom like, oh, there you are? Kind of like that Hook, the movie Hook, where you're like, oh, there you are, Peter.
Yeah.
You guys are young.
Yeah, I don't know what movie that is, but
Stop. So I'm gonna make fun of Felice real quick. So Felice is like, they are not millennial, not you guys, but like centennials. They are not millennials. They are centennials. I was like, yes, because centennials love to be corrected. I know. I'm not talking about them. I'm just talking about overall. Like she had this argument. I hate when they're saying they're millennials. They're not millennials. They're centennials. Get off my lawn. so I'm sorry. What would you say? It was like a few months? Was it a year? Was it a couple?
there's actually a story behind this. My mom, she was very like adamant about getting better and stuff.
Mhm.
And we had flip phones back then.
Yeah, my favorite kind of phone.
Age of
Yeah,
raw
we shared
technology. And I had
Oh.
a video of my mom and we were talking to her and I was like, we're going to the zoo today. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, we're going to see bats. And so I used that as almost a reference because my mom was really herself in that video.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
remember one day I was just talking to her and she just got out of the shower and she had her towel around her and everything. And I was like, Mom. And she was like, what? And I'm like, you're you again. And it
Aw.
was just
Yeah.
a really defining moment that really helped me out, I guess.
That's amazing. And she was like, go to your room and clean it. You're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're back.
110%.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this. You guys shared a flip phone?
Oh, it was awful.
That
It
sounds
was-
like that's.
I would like to
I had
say
a
I'm
flip
very
phone, yeah.
thankful that we both have our own phones now.
This is actually pretty recent for
One
me.
Of, yes,
I was
one of
gonna
the
I was
best
gonna
moments
say
of my life.
that's borderline abuse.
Yes, 110%.
I
to
just want
pay.
to say this.
Yeah,
I'm
as
on
soon
your
as
side,
I-
guys.
As soon as I got I started working at my dance studio, and as soon as I started getting any sort of money, I was like, I'm buying a phone. Like that was my very first like big purchase that I ever made.
Can I tell you what's hilarious? I can just picture you standing over your mom. We're like, all right, I'm gonna call dad and save your life, but I'm getting a phone out of this. Yes.
They did pay for half of my first phone, so
See,
Thanks.
good job.
That's the deal. You have to pay for half of your first phone.
Yeah, you also pay. You have to pay for half of the therapy that they're gonna go through because of the sharing of the
shared
phone
flip phone.
Mhm.
incidents. They have
Yeah.
like night terrors on it. Oh, it's my turn.
I need to text someone.
Do you
Mom's-
remember your moment when you were like, "Mom, there you are"?
Yeah. On the shared flip phone, our background for a while was a picture of our mom before the stroke, and it was her smiling.
Mhm.
And as soon as she had the stroke, her smile changed. And
Was it because of the stroke, like the
Uh-huh.
droopy side?
It looked
really
almost like a
drooped.
smirk, but,
Yeah.
like, instead
it was
of, like,
she looks really smug all the time.
a part smile. It's
I mean,
like,
she is,
yeah.
She
but I
is
mean, like, she
smug,
doesn't
but-
look it.
Accidentally
Yeah.
smug. And then one day, she just turned around and she smiled, and like both of her sides were up, and I was like,
Oh wow,
"What? It's you! Like you're back! What?"
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, so you're kind of a superhero,
I mean, you know.
which I say that because I think you're rocking a cape right now. It's kind of cool. What would you say to the other kids out there in a similar position, in the same position? Obviously, defy your parents. I just preach
Yes.
that normally. No, don't defy your parents.
Our parents are just watching us right now. Just like, don't
Yeah,
defy us. Please don't defy us.
Please don't
We're not
Don't
gonna
revolt.
take it.
No.
So okay, so the fast.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell the people.
F stands for facial drooping.
Yes.
Yeah, see, look at this team.
Yes.
You guys are like Migos. He's your backup.
A is for arms. You need to make sure that they can raise both their arms above their heads.
Yes. I don't know any of this, so I'm just gonna
S
support
is
her.
slurred speech. So if they like can't coherently talk to you, and then if all those things happen, it is T, which is time to call 911.
Yes.
Yes.
Which she did.
Yes, I did. Well, I called dad, and then dad called 911. But
Yeah, that's
I started the chain of events.
absolutely. You literally saved you saved your family.
I
Right?
mean, when you say it like that,
So we now know Fast, and Abram now knows Fast.
good
Somewhat.
job.
Yeah, he's gonna get it tattooed on his arm, so like he never forget. Like as an underage kid, you know what I mean? Like that's
In
gonna happen.
Nebraska, you can get
California.
it at 16 with your
Seriously?
parents' signature. Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey.
Yep. They just got the no. We'll work it.
Yeah.
So,
Come to Nebraska, be our parent.
so Monet, what would your advice be to kids out there, or actually adults too, seriously, who have an unruly person who's clearly having a stroke or clearly having trouble?
Follow your intuition. Like if you know something is wrong and you know that there's a chance that you're able to fix it, you need to be able to fix it. Like if you have the ability to make sure that they're okay, you should be doing that no matter what they're saying.
Like Batman. Like who are
I mean,
you?
you know,
What is happening? Are you like a secret crime fighter? This is amazing.
don't expose me.
Yeah, so you guys are definitely young because Christian Bale's your Batman. Michael Keaton's my Batman. So I mean,
Isn't there the dude from Twilight that's gonna play Batman? as
Oh,
well?
come on, man.
no.
That's so strange. I'm anti. So that literally leads into we are the NeuroNerds. We've talked a lot about the neuro
Yes.
side of this. And actually I love the unique perspective of like the kids actually saving the parent, which is just amazing and mind-blowing. But speaking, we are the NeuroNerds. So what's your nerdum? Guys, we've got the future here. We've got the little cheer-ins. We have, a young Monet Batman crime fighter.
You know,
And what can I say? Abram's your sidekick? I mean, he's the
Yes.
younger one.
you're my tall sidekick.
Someone who's taller than someone can't
Yeah,
be their
you could
sidekick.
be like, well, no, I wouldn't say sidekick. I'd
Partner.
say partner. There it is.
Yes.
See?
Co-conspirator.
Yeah, partner in crime. Why does it go so dark so quickly? So what's your nerdum?
Harry Potter. I have seriously read those books probably about 50 times.
Oh,
like, start to finish.
nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd. Felice is actually re-listening to all of the Harry Potters. And she was like, oh my God, the books are so much better than movies. There's so much more detail and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be driving and she's like, do you mind if we listen to some Harry Potter? I was like, yeah, that's so much better than music.
Please, right now. Yeah.
What about you, Abram?
I mean, I kind of like technology.
Oh, tech nerd.
Yes.
Like
Absolutely.
what? Give me little specifics, like where you're like, yes, that's it.
Well, I mean, I like hospital technology. When I was not when I was in the hospital, but when I was visiting my mom, I was always fascinated by the machines and stuff. So
Oh
I
my
kind of like knowing
gosh.
how those work.
That's craziness.
I
That's
also like
awesome.
food.
Yeah, oh, I love food too. Like
Yes.
it goes in my face every single day.
Exactly.
Wait, do you cook?
No.
I cook.
Monet cooks.
I
She
bake,
bakes
too.
as well.
My strawberry pies are kind of legendary.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I should make them and bring them.
Yes. You know what's funny?
They're
I
amazing.
eat. So
Really,
I
what a
mean,
coincidence.
you can't have baking and cooking without eating. So like, you
Yeah.
know, it's the yin and yang of life.
Absolutely.
See, it always comes back to the yin and yang of life. And you play Fortnite.
Lots of Fortnite.
Minecraft is better than Fortnite. I'd just like to say
Can't
that
get
now.
into Minecraft either.
Minecraft.
I'll tell you why. Kind of a graphics guy, and it's
Ooh.
just like
Yeah.
it's blocky.
That's the purpose of it.
And okay, and
It's kind of graphically like infuriating because you're like, I want to make a circle.
yes,
Let me
I
make
can't
a
make a square.
circle.
It's all squares. So in Minecraft, never super got into. I can't get into Fortnite because I don't want to threaten you. Because are you a jerk kid online? Be honest.
I don't talk online.
Okay, that's
If
perfect.
I do a fake Russian accent, so then everyone like is confused.
It's so concerning. I'll be sitting across the couch. He's like, let me get your gun. I'm like, whoa.
You don't drop the RPG. I give you an RPG.
I'm like, whoa, let's calm down.
Oh, because it was this little punk kid that I threatened, and when this is back in the day when like I was playing Halo.
Halo had the worst.
The worst. And I was so proud of threatening like a 10-year-old. I was like, yeah, I got him. I was like, I just threatened a 10-year-old. So like, I don't do online gaming anymore.
There's a crazy
Yeah.
thing where like kids can find like fake addresses and stuff online. So they'll just list off these fake addresses and you'll be like, nope, that's not mine. But
They're
thanks
still,
for
like, threatening
trying.
You're like, oh.
Oh my God. No. I'll be like, I'm going to find your real address. And I'm like, no, see, I'm getting amped up. No, this is good for me. I had a high blood pressure induced hemorrhagic stroke. I've got to I got to be calm.
Do some yoga. Tai
gotta
Chi.
be
I started doing Tai Chi.
Oh, that's when you're like pushing
Yeah.
and
I went to a show choir camp like last week and I went to a workshop and it was a Tai Chi workshop. The lady was absolutely off her bonkers, but it was so fun.
so you're like a hippie, like a
I mean,
modern day
yeah.
hippie.
I mean,
Her
I
room
dress
is
like
very hippie.
I dress
well.
like an uncle that's like
Hmm.
going to the casinos most of the time.
Oh man.
Like collared shirt.
I gotta tell you,
like
life goals.
cigar in hand. Like
Oh yeah, wait, hopefully not you.
no, that's the uncle, not me. I
Punch
do
you in
not
the
smoke.
mush.
So I'm now gonna kick out these kids.
Aw.
Get off of my lawn, old man Joe. So I really appreciate the perspective. I really appreciate Abram for loving food as much as me.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, that's nerdum in itself.
Eating.
Like food nerdum, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, Monet is also a dance nerd.
Yes.
I don't want to say dance nerd because it's not nerdy. Like you do like dope dancing.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
Right?
Yeah,
Well, I think
it's
it's
pretty
dope.
dope.
Dance. If it was terrible, I would probably just be like, out of all the dancing in the world, she does some of it.
She is a dancer. She moves her body sometimes.
So I appreciate you guys. I'll have you guys on again to shout out all your socials and stuff at the end.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
In the meantime, we're gonna bring another special. This is just the Butler. It's a Butler episode.
Yes.
So I'm gonna be transitioning out of the Butler children to the Butlers themselves. So I'm gonna bring in Tamsin's husband Scott and Tamsin back to talk a little bit about the recovery process and how it made the husband feel, and also how proud he is of his children.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, so I have Tamsin back here with her very sexy husband Scott.
Isn't he sexy?
Hey, sexy husband
Thank you.
Scott. I
Thank
say
you.
that because Scott reminds me of myself. Bald man, dope facial hair, hairy dude. Right?
All of the good things.
Yeah, we're killing it over here. So Scott, let me ask you a question. How strange was it when your daughter called you and said, "Hey, mom's sick"? Like, not mom's sick. There's something wrong with mom.
Well, that's when I knew things had gone south. And I don't normally do this, but I just got up and left work and I didn't say anything to anybody. I just left.
Right.
And went straight home. So yeah, it was just the way that she sounded on the phone was so different
Mhm.
from her normal behavior that I knew things were just wrong.
But when you actually saw Tamsin, like, what went through your mind?
So I thought she was having a stroke right off the bat.
That's so amazing.
And I think some of that has to do with the life-saving training that I received in the military.
Mhm.
And so
What branch?
Air Force,
Oh.
retired.
Oh.
And so I thought something was wrong. I thought it was a stroke. I went through the steps that they showed us in in the training, and
Right.
that's when I called 911.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty quick.
Personality wise, how was she reacting when you saw her?
She was confused, and she didn't have any control. Like we tried to get her into a chair,
Mhm.
and she just didn't have any control of her body. And I knew, I mean, at that point I was 100%.
That as a dude, it's been heartbreaking. I mean, this is your woman.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that go through your mind right then, and it's like, well, first I got to get her help. What do I do for the kids?
Right.
Because we don't have family out there, and so it's not like we can just say, "Hey, mom and dad or brother and
Right.
sister, come over and watch the kids."
It's just you guys.
It's just us. Yeah.
Wow, that's so much. Man, if you had hair at the time, it would have been gone.
Right.
That's a lot of stress.
It was stressful.
That's so crazy. So I'll ask you the same thing that I asked the kids. How long did you notice a difference in personality when she came home?
Well, yeah, and a lot of it I kind of expected
Mhm.
from doing the research that said, this is what to typically expect from a person that has that kind of stroke.
Right.
And so I expected her to be persistent to the point of obsession when there was something that she wanted to do.
I resemble that comment.
The emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
So I kind of expected it. It's one thing to expect it, and a different thing to live with it.
Right.
So that was hard, trying to take on all the things that she does, which is so much. I'm very thankful that she's back to her normal self, because doing all of the things that she does at home,
Mhm.
in addition to all the other things, it's overwhelming.
Right. All right. Yeah, it's overwhelming as somebody without a brain injury.
Right.
So I'll ask you the same Peter Pan hook question. How long was it before you were like, oh, there you are. You're back. You're not back, but like you're coming back. Like there's my wife. There's the love of my life.
I think after she was able to start driving again, which wasn't terribly long,
Mhm.
I think it was end of September, beginning of
It
October.
was October.
So like maybe 3 months, 4 months after the stroke,
Mhm.
I knew that things were going to get better.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh man, I don't even remember for me. Felice, do you remember? So yeah, so speaking of like recovery, it does come in waves. Like, so was it like, oh wow, you're back, and then it's like, oh no, you went away again? Has it been like that progressively, or was it like, oh, she's back and she's just back in a groove?
I think it would just be different stages of better.
Mhm.
So once she started being able to drive again, her personality started coming back.
Right.
And then once her personality started coming back, then she started taking on like more of the things that she did prior to the stroke.
Right.
She started pursuing the fitness instructor thing again, and started pursuing writing again. So, and as she achieved each of those goals,
Mhm.
more and more of Tam prior
Right.
came back.
So is she different now today? Is because none of us I think are exactly the same, because like we damn near died.
Right.
But she like, oh wow, yeah, she shifted personalities, but in a positive way, I would think. Like, do you notice is she a different person today?
She is. I think she is more compassionate
Mhm.
and understanding. Not that she wasn't compassionate. Or
You know what that
understanding
means,
before,
Tam? You're a jerk.
I was.
but I think she tries to see more of another person's perspective than just like a normal person would.
Mhm.
She's more compassionate. She wasn't like
Right.
like a zombie or anything.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right,
No,
right.
I think she goes out of her way now to try to understand another person and try to understand what they're coming from and living through.
I'm like the opposite. I'm like, screw everybody else. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What about you, Tam? Let me ask you a question. Like, how long was it before you were like, okay, I'm feeling more and more myself?
I mean, the thing you said where it comes in waves,
Mhm.
it was kind of like that. Like something would happen and I would say, oh, this feels like it used to. And then I'd regress some more and then I'd be frustrated about something else. And then I'd have to get over that hump. And
it make no sense.
It comes in.
I did it yesterday.
Waves.
Why can't I do it today? Yeah, that's
and
the
I mean,
worst part
I guess
for me.
that's pretty characteristic of brain injuries is that one day you're doing fantastic and then the next day you just kind of regress and there's nothing you can do about it.
You can complain. And
well, yeah, okay, I can
shake
complain.
Your fist at things.
Yeah.
And apparently scream "get off my lawn" to everybody. That's my new thing.
So if we've learned one thing, it's stay off Joe's lawn.
Damn right, you crazy kids, you centennials. What about today? Today, like here and now, how are you feeling?
I mean, I feel pretty good. I mean, I definitely pass as somebody who doesn't have a brain injury for the most part, unless you find me like in a confused moment or something.
That's like every third moment of my life.
No.
I think I got confused 3 times during this conversation.
Yeah, I'd say that. At least for me, and I can't speak on behalf of all brain injury people, but for me, it's like I kind of go around with this facade going on where I'm like, I'm fine, I'm cool, I've got this, no problem. And on the inside, I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? I don't even understand.
Tam, why are we that way? Why are we that way? You know, when people ask, hey, how you doing? Not that you want to unload. Oh, well, by the way, here are all of these awful, terrible, deep things that are going on with me. But why do you have to, oh yeah, I'm doing great. Why can't you just be like, not great, but I'm working on it. Like, why can't we be that way? Why can't we be a little bit more open and honest? Why do we have to put on this face that like, oh yeah, everything is fine?
Well, we don't want to be vulnerable. And also we have this perspective that what are we complaining about? We lived.
Right.
You can't be like, oh, well, I almost died, but I didn't. But man, I'm confused and can't find my way to the store today,
So strange.
because people are like, but you didn't die,
right. know? Yeah. How do they know that? Oh, yeah, we're wearing t-shirts that said, I almost died.
How will they ever know as we wear our t-shirts?
We're literally doing that.
Yeah.
Pictures will follow this. It's strange. It's so strange because I am so happy with everything. I'm also, I almost feel bad to be miserable, because I'm like, we did live, we made it. But like, so why am I upset? Also, I'm mostly fully functional.
Yeah.
Why am I complaining? I'm allowed to complain, right?
Yeah.
Let's complain.
Okay.
Let's have a pity party.
Let's go. Buckle up, everybody.
Everything is amazing. I think perspective is great because there are others out there that have it significantly worse.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think we're all allowed to complain a certain amount. I do feel guilty about complaining, but I think not that I want to complain. I think we just need to be a little bit more honest with how we're feeling.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we don't, I think we'll just stay in that feeling longer. Right?
Yeah.
And it's going to manifest, it's going to fester, and then it's going to raise my blood pressure, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants to. I don't want to wear a t-shirt that said I almost died twice.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Neither do you, Tam.
No, thank you.
Come on.
I'll keep this t-shirt. Thanks.
Yeah, just the one.
Just the one.
Just the one.
No more.
Let me ask you a question. Pre-stroke, is there anything that you miss that you are either different as now or can't do now?
Well, I mean, just the fact that I get so confused easily, I feel a lot less capable intellectually than I used to.
Right.
Because, I mean, by profession, I'm a writer.
Right.
So to lose my words occasionally is just debilitating in my career.
That must be so difficult.
It is. I mean, I've found ways to dance around it. Like most people with some form of aphasia, like I find ways to get my words conveyed. That was not an intentional pause.
No,
but,
but you know what? I not that I love that. That's so weird. Oh, I love that. No, but it's honest. It shows, so my co-host, she has difficulty with words sometimes because of she had a severe concussion from a car accident. And sometimes on the podcast, she'll it's a process, her finding the words, and then she'll find it in a different language, and then she'll have to transition it into. The mind is an amazing thing, it's incredible. How frustrating is it to do that? Like, does it drive you crazy, or are you like, okay, well, this is what this is, I'm just gonna move forward?
I mean, it drives me crazy on some level, but a lot of times I find it amusing. Like, what was that one? We were talking about swaddling babies, and I couldn't remember the word swaddling, so I said comforting bondage, and I thought that was so hilarious.
Oh my God, new band name.
Yeah. But so stuff like that, you can't not laugh at that your brain would come up with that. So it finds the way to get there. It's just not necessarily the way I want to get there.
Yeah, no, that I don't really have that because I wasn't very bright to begin with, so I didn't have to worry too much about words. My co-host, though, she said something where she was like, I was trying to just use the word fuse, like two things fused together. She's like, and all I could think of is the end of a bomb.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's a different fuse. She's like, but that's the only thing that stuck in my head. She's also a writer, So, but you are an amazing writer, Tam.
Thank you.
I know this because I've read several of your things.
Thank you very much.
Award winning.
Oh, ooh. So no, but you had something published for the Heart Association?
Yes.
Yes. How awesome is that?
Oh, it's great.
I think that's
You know-
that's really cool. And that's how Sarah found you.
Yeah, that's how Sarah found me.
Stromey, when she turned into a stalker.
Yes. She's very aggressive.
Yes. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
I know. There's
Yeah.
no getting away from her, but
Yes,
I kind of love it.
That's my stroke girlfriend. I'm her stroke boyfriend, not because I want to, because she forced me to be.
She's like, you.
She's
my
very
stroke
aggressive.
boy-
She's
yes.
like, yeah, it was.
She was like, you, Tamsin, you are going to be my friend. And I was
kind
like,
of
I
picture
guess I'm her
her
friend.
like a caveman. Like she's holding you by your hair and she has this big stick, you know? Like
yeah,
a club.
but like we're not resisting that much. We're kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
All right, I guess I'll be. This will be my amazing stroke girlfriend.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of cool. But yeah, you contributed to my blog and told your story, and I think it was amazing.
Thank you.
Oh well, obviously it is amazing. But like you're a great writer. And
Thank you.
So are you back to writing frequently on a regular
yeah,
basis?
I mean, I'm doing it again professionally,
Mhm.
but I'm not writing to the extent that I used to write. Like I used to write books, but just the thought of trying to conquer a book now is just too much for me.
Hey, slowly but surely, it's all
Yeah.
steps. I tell everybody, it's all steps.
Yeah.
You know, you can't run before you walk. You can't walk before you crawl.
True.
So what stage are you at? Are you jogging?
I'd say I'm at a brisk walk.
Brisk walk. See, hey,
Yeah.
progress, right?
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing. And being a fitness instructor,
Mhm.
how like physically, huge difference, subtle difference.
From pre-stroke.
Yeah.
I mean,
So if this was steps, are you running now?
I'd say that I'm jogging.
You're jogging. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Right?
Yeah,
Right. And you enjoy doing that.
absolutely. I
Oh my
love it.
gosh.
I mean, I'm very strong. You know,
No joke.
Yeah, she's literally holding her husband over her head right now.
yeah, we're doing squats with Scott on my head.
He's a
No,
little
it's
guy.
just, I mean, I'm very strong just in general. So I'd say if you put me up like an average woman of my age, I'm stronger.
18
So-
years old. Got it.
Yeah. But so what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Never mind. There it went.
Hey, yeah, brain stuff. I always say, like, in the middle of a conversation, I'll be like, oh, yeah, oh, damn, brain.
Yeah.
I have it constantly. So you suffered aphasia, or do you still suffer aphasia?
I still suffer it, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be.
Okay.
It's definitely there though.
I don't think I ever had aphasia. Not 100% sure, but if I did, maybe I did. No, I just have short-term memory stuff because of the bleeding in my brain.
Yeah.
So like short-term, it would be Groundhog Day. You
Yeah.
know? It would be Memento. Be like, oh, who am I? And it was weird because like I would meet people and like they knew me, and I'm like, I have no idea who you are. But I would do that thing that you kind of do. I'd pretend like everything was fine. And
Yeah.
I have like little tips and tricks for myself that I can get out of things. Like I can talk my way out of like looking silly or looking like something's wrong with me, even though there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know, I want to get away from that. I think all of us survivors have to get away from that. If there's something wrong, let it go. Like, let it be wrong. You know, I had trouble in doing the steps for things. So like, you know, like some people like after a stroke, it'll be like they'll brush their teeth, but they forgot to put the toothpaste on the toothbrush. It's like the steps like that. Like I had a little bit of that, but then I would quickly like make up a reason why I didn't do it, even though
Yeah.
it was like, no, it was my brain. It wasn't this other stupid thing that I'm doing, but I'm very quick witted, you know, and I just didn't want people to look at me like, oh wait, what's wrong with that guy? Don't do that anymore, Tam. Just be like, hey, this is what's happening to me.
Yeah,
but I
I mean,
live, so
I think
deal with it.
I've reached a point to where, you know, if I get confused or something and somebody doesn't know my history, I'll just be like, sorry, I have a brain injury. And I just stop there. I tell people brain injury as opposed to stroke, because when you say stroke, they're like, what?
Oh,
But you're so young. What do you mean you had a stroke? But if you say brain injury, they're like, oh, okay, because that's so in the news with, you know, yeah.
Football and
oh
yeah.
yeah, with Felice. I know it's Daenerys Lauren. I say Khaleesi because most people know her as Khaleesi. My co-host yells at me because she's like, Khaleesi is a title, it's not a name.
We'd know either way, Joe.
So I would say stroke because I want people to be like, but you're so young. I'm like, oh yes.
Ah,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I had my wisdom teeth, all of them pulled because they said I was young. So I had issues with one of my wisdom teeth, and they're like, all right, cool. So we're going to have to take out the other one to match your bite. And they're like, while you're young, we should probably take out the other side because it gets more difficult as you get older. And I was like, oh, you call me young. Do whatever you need to.
I remember them telling me that when I was in my 30s. They're like, we should do this while you're young. And I was
Wait,
like, oh, no.
you're not in your 30s?
I'm 45, babe.
Sorry, I was gonna drop a huge F-bomb right there. Are you really?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God. I was gonna say like the worst thing you can say to a woman in her mid-40s. I was gonna say well preserved. I don't know. That's a horrible way to say it.
Like she's a mummy.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
I was under the assumption that you were in your mid-30s.
No.
40s are the new 30s.
Yeah, ask
That's
Jay-Z.
what they say. Yeah.
Ask Jay-Z. I didn't know you were older than I.
Yes, I am.
I thought
you
I was.
whippersnapper.
Yeah. You're yelling at me to get off your lawn.
Get
What's
off
going
my lawn, Joe.
So let me ask you a question, Stromy Tamsin.
Yes.
Being an advocate with the other two Stromies, how did that come about? I know we talked about this when we did the whole thing, but can you give the people a quick gist of who the Stromies are and what you guys do?
Yeah. Well, I met Angie at a stroke survivor advocate summit, and we just happened to be sitting next to each other. And she had seen me speak at the Go Red for Women Expo. So she kind of was sitting there thinking, oh, I really want to talk to this lady. And I was sitting there looking at Angie going, she is fabulous. I really want to talk to this lady. So we started chatting and we said, well, let's meet for coffee sometime. So we meet for coffee and she comes in this flurry of fabulousness, plops down in front of me and opens up a notebook, puts her finger up to say like 1 minute, looks down and reads and looks up at me and goes, how are you? Because she had made herself notes to say, ask her how she is. And I was like, you are my people. I love you already. And we just immediately bonded.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, because Angie, I mean, you've seen Angie. She presents so well. She's so beautiful and wonderful.
She is.
The fact that she might have the same things going on in her brain that I do, I was immediately drawn to that.
That's amazing. And then when you met Sarah, she stalked you. She was like outside of your window, hanging out in your bushes. It was weird, Sarah. It was weird.
But it was okay, Sarah.
It was also Angie. Come on, Angie. You're the only Stromy that I don't really know very well. Joe wants to be furiously fabulous, just like you. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. When you go see Angie, tell her hit me up.
I will.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
So 2 of the 3 Stromies met in person. I need a hug, Angie. Like in person. For real.
She does give really good hugs.
Does she?
Yeah.
I give horrible hugs. No, I give great hugs. You know, I just hugged you.
That hug was just wonderful.
It was fantastic. I think
it was warm.
It was because I hugged the hubby too and the Chirins, right?
Yes.
And then they hugged my dog, so it's cool. You know, that's
yes, we
honestly
love your dog.
The real reason why they came here isn't to do the podcast or to meet me. It was to hang out with Stella. Who's
I mean,
lying down on the
at
floor.
least we're honest about it.
That's
you know,
true.
we really, really wanted to meet Stella.
That's very true. Well, I really appreciate what the Stromies do for the community. You know,
Well,
I don't remember because I had a brain injury. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't remember how I met everybody. Like if you guys reached out to me or if I reached out to you guys, I just know that we became like all like fast friends, especially Sarah, because I had no choice. You know,
She's persistent. Yeah.
she is.
No, I remember when you wrote the blog for us because I do the editing of the blog and I was reading it and I was like, what a story. Because it was like you were having the stroke, but you still went to a bar or something
Yeah,
to watch music or
Felice was
something.
performing.
And I was like, my goodness. I was like, this guy is amazing.
No, this guy's an idiot for sure. He had a stroke and he went to have another beer. He finished the show. Yeah, my emotional regulation like during that time was awful. Period.
Well, I want to make sure I say this though. When I was reading your blog, it was really the first time that I realized that stroke presents differently in people because I thought everybody had the same experience I had. And I was like, there's no way I could have went to a bar. I couldn't have even driven or anything. So reading yours, I was like, maybe people have different experiences with stroke. And I think that's important for people to know.
Oh, no, it's all the same. I'm just special. When you said, I think you said you felt weird in your own body. Did you feel weird in your own body?
Absolutely. I felt like somebody had taken the essence of who I was and put me in an elderly body, honestly, is what it felt like.
Me, it was kind of cool because I lost 30 pounds. I didn't even need to work out.
Oh, well, pardon me.
All I had
gained
to do-
30 pounds. So
All I
we're
had
all
to
good.
do was have a stroke. It was amazing. No, it was horrible. It was horrible. Everybody take care of yourselves. But you know, like I was 30 pounds heavier. Like it was like the worst. But then I woke up and I'm in this frail body. I have to use a cane, which I hated to use. You had a walker.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Sorry.
But you were smart. You used your walker. I didn't. I didn't use my cane. And I would fall down randomly. Like they give you these things because you need them, you know? But
Yeah.
again, vanity, also idiocy. And the fact that like I'm doing the quote, like we present well.
Yeah.
We got to stop being like, let's just be honest. Let's be honest about like what's going on with us because we're going to heal better. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find when I write my most like vulnerable blogs for the Stromies blog, that's when people react the most. When I'm like, you know, this thing is really difficult for me to write about, but I'm going to write about it anyhow. that's when people are like, I wish this is what my brain was saying too. This is exactly how I feel.
Isn't it great? Like when you're open and honest, like how we can actually help and touch other
Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
I never wanted anybody to like look at me like a certain way. So it took me about a year before I looked at pictures of myself in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then when I actually posted a picture of me like in the hospital looking like death, I got the most response from that because people are like, oh, and when I talk about, yeah, I'm having a rough day, people are like, oh, I'm glad, not that they're glad I'm having a rough day, but it's like, I'm glad that like it's happening to you because it happens to me,
Yeah.
and I think we can't just put that front like everything is great. Nah, man, we almost died, and that doesn't go away. Like we're dealing with the ramifications of that now, and our families are dealing with ramifications of that now too. So it's not just us, it's bigger than us.
Absolutely.
Your husband has to deal with it, your kids have to deal with it. It's a bigger picture, but I think we all have to be honest and talk about it,
Yeah.
And I appreciate the Stromies for doing what you guys do.
Thank you.
For being advocates in our community. I like saying our community.
It is our community.
Now I'm gonna be arrogant in my community. No?
In
No?
Joe's community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way too arrogant. But yeah, I think so. You guys inspired me to do the same. To share people's stories because I think it helps us to share it. It helps in our recovery.
Yeah.
It also helps other people out there to hear it, to know that they're not alone. Because I know what it is to feel alone and isolated in this, and I just can't appreciate you guys anymore for making me not feel alone. I'm never in this alone because I always have the Stromies.
True.
And you guys always have the NeuroNerds.
Yeah.
And on top of it, we got the Stroke of Genius guys. We've got, we've got me, we got Brittany. We're all connected like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh, speaking of nerdum, what's your nerdum, Tam?
Is fitness nerdum a thing?
It is.
Okay, I'm a fitness
You're
nerd.
a fitness nerd?
Mhm.
I gotta tell you, that's so nerdy. Out of all
I
this,
know.
that's definitely the nerdiest. Scott, what's your nerdum?
Ooh. Do I just pick one?
No, you throw out a couple.
So I like high fantasy,
Mhm.
like Game of Thrones,
Mhm.
Wheel of Time, comic book nerd, Marvel,
Oh, yep. Okay, my people.
Star Wars,
Oh,
Star Trek,
I got Star Wars tattoos. So wait, Star Wars and Star Trek.
video games,
Ah.
technology,
Oh, tech.
fitness,
Abram. Oh,
reading in general.
dancing.
I cannot dance. They did not get that.
Monet.
I've taken lesson. I have.
Was
one,
it a twerk class?
No.
Okay,
unfortunately.
So Lauren can teach you how to twerk. She taught me how to twerk briefly. She was like I was laying down on the floor and she was like, okay, now loosen this and do this and do this. And I was like, all right, oh my God, I'm twerking. It's so bizarre.
I don't know if they want that in the world.
So basically, Scott's just a nerd.
I'm a huge nerd.
Yeah. Yes, I was gonna say that. I was like, you married a nerd.
I know.
She knew that going in. I did not
did.
hide any of it.
Well, that's all. See, we have to be honest. He didn't put on a front like I'm the coolest guy in the world. You gotta look like a super cool dude, right?
I feel cool.
Yeah, like little does everybody know, super nerd.
Yeah.
Right?
Super nerd.
Yeah, but how beautiful is the world that we live in right now where that is cool, right?
It's the best.
It's time to let your nerd flag fly. Say that 3 times fast. Say it one time good. so I really appreciate you guys. I think this has been informative. I love the perspective of having the kids and the family here. This has been great. This is like such a treat. I'm so happy to meet another third of the Stromies. Ange, can I call her Ange?
Yes, you may
I'm
call
calling
her
her
Ange.
Ange.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. I got clearance from Tam. Say, wait, everybody's short. Is Sarah? I'm gonna call Sarah Sarah and so I'm super appreciative of you guys. This has been great. It's been great information. You've raised amazing children. You have
Thank
a
you.
super dope husband who's a super nerd. And I appreciate what you do for the community. I really do. It means so much to me and it means so much to everybody because we have the most beautiful community in the world. It's so helpful. It's so caring and it's so giving. And I'm so happy to meet you. I think you're super dope, Samson. And I'm still blown
Likewise,
away
Joe.
that clearly. Amazing.
I know.
Like, it's like, how did you not know this?
You
I
guys
know
have no idea what I'm sitting across from right now. He's amazing.
I gotta tell you, I'm just gonna blame the brain injury because it should have just been known. You've heard me. We've spoken before. Also, Joe Borges, humble human being.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. The most humble. So I'm gonna now give out all the socials. So I'll do my socials, and then I'm gonna bring in the kids and everybody. Scott, do you want to give your socials? Scott does not want to give his socials because he doesn't want to be flooded by other nerds. They're like, oh, wait a minute, you like Game of Thrones and Star Wars and Star Trek, we got to hang out. No, nerds, leave him alone. He's married.
I'm antisocial.
So follow me at Joe So Rocks everywhere. Follow Lauren at Lauren L. Manzano on Instagram. Follow us at the NeuroNerds everywhere. Follow Tamsin at
Stromies.com. Also, Instagram is
Three Stromies.
Three Stromies.
Joe knew that? Knew that?
Thank you, Joe. Joe, will you just put
Joe
that out there
remembers
for me?
things.
Thank you.
And then you can also follow the little cheerins out there. You can follow Monet at
Monet X Butler on Instagram. And then I also have a thrifting account if you want to follow that.
You absolutely should.
And it's Monet's Thrift Flips.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And we've got Abram.
Follow me on Instagram at Abram_eats, and then definitely subscribe to my YouTube at SwirlsyWeb. But if that's too complicated, just look at my Instagram.
All of these will be in the show notes. Swirlsy
Web.
Swirlsy Web. I'm absolutely gonna subscribe to that. And I'm gonna comment on every video. Positively. I think. I'm not making any promises. I have
Every
brain injury.
comment,
It could be
get off
crazy.
my lawn, get off my lawn.
Yeah, by the way, Centennials, get off my lawn. And on that beautiful note, thank you to the Butlers for doing this. Tamsin, thank you so much. Thank you for living, Tam.
Thank you, Joe. Same to you.
Also, thank you for having such an amazing fashion sense. The pictures will be on my Instagram page soon.
We're so avant-garde.
So thank the Stromies as well for being advocates in this community. We really love you guys. And on that beautiful note, this NeuroNerd is out.